This is a before video of me putting my new trolling motor on. I just got this bad boy in the mail today. It's a camera mount. Goes into the whole electrical spot for the front light, but I'll be able to get some better video. Fits right down in there. I already removed this, which was a royal pain in the rear end because the screws weren't stainless steel and they corroded and rusted in the fiberglass. Two came out with a screwdriver in the back. This one came out with vice grips, and this one I had to drill, and it got so hot that it started melting the plastic. So I'm going to rip the rest of this thing off and then do the assembly of the new trolling motor, which shouldn't be too hard. There's only 4 bolts for this. One here, one in here, and then 2 on the other side. Man, this thing got jacked up. It's brand new too. That's it. 57 degrees in Cannes today. What's up, Finn? Finny, come here. Come here. Fantastic. What's up, Butter? Butters? There's 4 bolts, 4 screws. See how these come off. That's just spinning. That's not a good sign. Yeah, these ain't coming off. They're just spinning. Which means they got a bolt underneath here. Huh?
Oh, he is out here. I said I didn't think he was out here because he wasn't barking at you know who.
How in the hell did they get these screws all the way inside here? I was able to turn them. Good news. The screws that mount these, so you have bolts on them. So I either got to go in from here or from that. But maybe I can pull this off and get to them. This is why I watched this dang video on YouTube, which did not exist, to see how to put this thing on. But since it's a 2004, there's nothing back that far. So, oh, that's coming out crooked. Nothing's easy. That's fiberglass. Shit, I just need to get my hand on one. Literally 3 hours later, these bolts are all the way up into the deck, and there's no easy way to get a wrench on the bottom part to get them off. Stainless steel too, and they're lock nuts. So I'm not even going to explain how I did it, but my daughter had to help me. And I lost one of the washers. So the old unit is out. I'm pissed off, kinda, because it took way too long. So now I'm going to go inside. And that's it. Here's the new motor installed. I had to go in through this panel here to get the screws on, and it only had 2 little holes cut for gauges, so I had to cut the whole thing out. I didn't lose any screw holes to put 4 mounting bolts. Here's the remote, the LCD, which is on, off, battery power, GPS, and propeller. So I'll hit propeller, which it's on. I don't have the propeller on down here, but you can see it spinning. This is speeding up. It's got like 9 speeds. And then you can manually turn it left or right and not do that. Then turn it off. Then the head up here is where the GPS is. So all I gotta do is slave it into this plug here. I gotta take the old one off the other motor. That way I'll be able to unplug it and plug it in when I charge. And that's it. Pretty sweet. Not too hard to install, but not easy. Hardest part was getting the old one off. And the remote, it's got this anchor lock, and then you can put in 8 positions that you can pre-program. Some other stuff, I gotta figure it all out. We got power right here, baby. Just unplug and plug for battery charging. Look at this ghetto setup. That's just so I didn't have to put the battery all the way in the boat. So I jumped it. Sweet. Just gotta figure out how to tuck this cable, which I think I know how to do. And we're good to go. Alright, this is a summary of my video for this motor. I'll put the description of the exact model in the details for the YouTube video. Everything's hooked up. This bad boy's mounted the way it's supposed to be. Big difference between the old trolling motor and this one is this has an overhang. That's the design of the new motors. If you look it up, you can't get past that. There's a lip here that you have to be able to clear in order for it to drop in the water. It concerns me about pulling in the dock. I'm going to bang this up a little bit, but you can't get away with it. That's just how they're designed now. I did put the propeller on. You know, that's simple stuff. I actually carry a spare propeller in the back of my boat. I tried my old propeller on the new motor, and it actually fits up pretty good, so that's a good thing. 4 bolts to mount this. The holes did not line up from the old MotorGuide to the new MotorGuide, so I had to drill 3 new holes. I used 1 of them, and the other 3 I had to pre-drill. Could not get to the nose of the boat to tighten the stainless screw lock nuts down, so I had to go into this plate right here. I cut that out. That's earlier in the video to get my arm in there to snug that down. There is no sonar in the cone of this motor, so my transducer, which was hooked up to the old motor, cannot be hooked up to the new motor. I actually called the company about that. The new motors spin continuously 360 degrees, forwards and backwards, based off their pinpoint GPS system. If you have a transducer hooked up to this, it will spin and wrap this cord up and cut it right off. So I have another mount coming in the mail to mount my transducer for my fish finder and depth finder and all that on the cone of the boat. You cannot hook it up to this base just by the new design. There is no sonar in this, which was advertised to have sonar. I was told that on the phone after I called and gave my model number. In the base of the motor is actually the GPS technology. It's also down up in this cover here. You can pull these sides off real easy and see the technology down in there, but supposedly that's where all the technology is, where it's getting its signal and that kind of stuff. This little pigtail here is not for sonar. It is for the NMEA NEMA system. NEMA system. What's that? Pause for edit. This little pigtail here is for the NEMA system. I'll put the description in the details for the video. This is for navigation with your fish finder system. So this plugs into your fish finding system, and all it does is help you navigate with this motor. It turns your fish finder into a little remote that looks just like this, if you have that technology, to touch screen from back in the cockpit area to be able to drive the boat with your touchscreen electronics without using this remote control. That's what this cord is. It's not sonar. It's to be able to navigate the motor. You could actually hook it up to the front of the boat too if you have a high-speed Lowrance or one of those other bells and whistles fish finding systems. But it's not for fish finding, it's for navigation. It turns your screen into this. It's expensive. I'm just going to roll with this. And if I get froggy, I'm going to buy a foot pedal. You guys got what I'm talking about. Good system so far. 4 bolts to hook up. Run the electric. Directions say do not charge the battery with this bad boy plugged in. So that's why I rehooked up this plug. We'll see how it does this winter. I can program in 8 type of coordinates or paths that I want to use with this, that you guys can read about that online. I'm getting tired of talking. It's probably too long as it is. Bitches.